Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you and welcome to this session. I'm your faculty of English, Niharika John Mehra, and here I am with another practice set of RCs for CSAT exam. Kindly let me know if I'm properly audible and visible. Then let me know in the chat if audio and video is working fine. Okay, I think we are good to go. We can start. So, just like the usual classes that we have done till now, we will continue practicing questions. Now, please, yeah. So, please know that the schedule of my classes goes like so. You have classes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and on Fridays on this channel, 1:30 p.m. We take topics like of regulatory exams and all here. So currently CSAT exam, RCs, that's what we are doing. And then there is this brilliant session going on for you all, like a wholesome package, and wo hai 8 p.m. editorial class. Now this is Monday to Saturday. Okay, this is Monday to Saturday 8 p.m. It's a 45-minute session for all of you where we cover skimming, skimming practice, vocabulary, grammar, MCQs, and a lot more. So please make sure, if you have like no other time for English in the day, at least you take out a little bit of time and join this session. Okay, I can understand there could be some circumstances I am not aware of, and you are unable that day to give a lot of time, but don't miss out on this class. यहाँ सब कुछ cover हो जाता है. Okay, so that's my schedule. Also, like और share कर दो जल्दी से, and we are going to do this these questions with timer. सब्सक्राइब भी कर लेना अगर अभी तक नहीं करा है तो. पहला क्वेश्चन आप लोगों के लिए है, प्लीज गो थ्रू इट. आई एम गोना गिव यू 2 minutes फॉर ईच क्वेश्चन हियर. Here in the chat. Okay. Okay, so the question is of suggestion, which means the context is given to us in the question passage. And through this, if things are in our hands, if we can do something about it, okay, as per the passage, what could be that thing? उसको ऐसे अगर सोचोगे बहुत आराम से आप क्वेश्चन बना लोगे. Answer to this question is D. Now, which of the following statements best reflects logical, rational, practical suggestion implied by the passage? तो यहाँ पैसेज क्या बोल रहा है करने के लिए? The resolution of bankruptcy cases under the insolvency code should help bring NPA situation under some control. So resolution of bankruptcy cases can help. Despite the slow pace of resolutions by the National Company Law Tribunal, the code can be helpful in cleaning up bank books in future credit cycles. So it can be helpful with respect to cleaning up the bank books. The recapitalization of public sector banks too can help. There is another thing which can help. Increase the capital cushion of banks and induce them to lend more and boost economic activity. So recapitalization can also help. But now there is a contrast. There were two things जो help कर सकती थी, resolution and recapitalization. Now there are things जो work दूसरे तरीके से कर रही हैं. But bad debt resolution and recapitalization, अगर bad debt का resolution recapitalization are only a part of solution, as they by themselves can do very little to rein in, to control reckless lending that has pushed Indian banking systems in its current sorry state. Sorry state means a pathetic state. Okay, जहाँ पे हमें बुरा लग रहा है कि कोई बहुत ही बुरे पोजीशन में है. सो बैड डेट का जो रेजोल्यूशन रिकैपिटलाइजेशन है उसको रेन इन, उसको कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाना इज द रीजन व्हाई द banking system is in current bad state. Unless there are systemic reforms, system related reforms that address the problem of unsustainable lending, जो कि sustainable lending नहीं है, उसका प्रॉब्लम जब तक ठीक नहीं होगा, future credit cycles will continue to stress the banking system. So the suggestion is that the banking system requires reforms. इतना पढ़ के there is a condition at the end that unless there are some reforms, that means we need reforms as a long term solution. Sustainability long term की बात होती है for bad loan problems. कितना easy था इसका आंसर लेकर आना. Now talking about the other three which we have to eliminate. For every question eliminate 3, select 1. Lending by banks should be closely monitored and regulated by the central government. Now what author is suggesting here, especially towards the end, is he's talking about reform. So this is irrelevant. Interest rates irrelevant. Merger of many banks into a few large banks alone is an extreme word. This is alone the solution. No. Extreme words answer नहीं होते हैं हमारे, because of course this is not suggested by the passage. अगर होता तो clear cut होता, and that's why other options are eliminated. Next करेंगे. In the chat. Answer to this one is D again. Which is best implied suggested in the passage? In India, over the last decade or so, labor has been departing agriculture. Labor agriculture से जा रहा है, but is only going to construction and unregistered manufacturing, which are not markedly better jobs. So it's not like they are moving to the better jobs. They think they are, but then they are going to such jobs. Services where labor tends to be most productive are not generating additional jobs the country needs. Jobs nahi hai short mein. India will need 24 million or so jobs over the next decade. The new sector e-commerce can at best close only half the jobs gap. E-commerce भी केवल half ही जो gap है number of jobs हैं ही नहीं उनको close कर सकता है. Only those sectors that drive domestic demand such as health and education can comfortably fill the other half. So there are two suggestions author is giving here. First is with respect to e-commerce that can only work on the half of it. But then the remaining half can be worked upon in the sectors like health and education. So increased social sector spending is imperative. Social sector spending it's imperative. It is important for large scale job creation. जॉब क्रिएशन अगर करना है लार्ज स्केल ही करना पड़ेगा एज पर द पैसेज सो इट इम्प्लाइज द पैसेज इम्प्लाइज वी नीड टू वर्क ऑन द social sector spending. We need to create opportunities here in this sector. Okay, strong measures need to be taken to reduce the rural to urban migration. Author is nowhere indicating कि migration बंद कर दो, let the labor remain in the agriculture. No, no, no. The working condition in construction and manufacturing needs to be improved. That could be true. We need to improve, but not suggested by the author as solution. Author gave us the context. Then he told us how many jobs we actually need to close the gap, and then he is giving two-part solution. Service sector has been reducing the problem of unemployment. This is actually the opposite of what is in the passage. So CB nahi tha answer. Agla. Next one. Answer here in the chat, guys. The answer to this one is C. Which among the following is the most logical corollary, that is the conclusion of the passage? Flamingos in large flock in the wild are social, extremely loyal. Okay, they are social and extremely loyal. They perform group mating dances. Parents are fond of their chicks, gathering them into crèches for protection, while both males and females fly off to सर्च फॉर फूड. सो बच्चों को इकट्ठा करके दोनों माँ बाप काम पे जाते हैं. So social behavior in some species increases the odds of survival in unsafe world. See, they are gathering them into crutches for protection, and because of the social behavior, parents और they are gathering, हर एक फैमिली से छोटे छोटे बच्चे आके साथ में हैं, and then the males and females they fly off for to work in a way, अगर human terms में समझे. So this is your answer. You guys need to answer in the chat here. It could really help you boost your confidence. Answer to this question is B. A logical corollary conclusion. So climate change is already making many people hungry by disrupting crop yields and pushing up prices. So ये inflation यहाँ पर हो रहा है food items का. It is not just food but nutrients that are becoming scarcer. Okay, scars होते जा रहे, scarcest as the climate changes. In the poorest communities, it is them who are gonna suffer the worst effects, including hunger and malnutrition. On the other hand, poverty is a driver of climate change. क्योंकि ये जो desperate communities है, they don't follow sustainability. They cannot actually. It's not possible for them because sustainability की चीजें काफी महंगी में जाती है. So they resort to unsustainable use of resources to meet current needs. So poverty and climate change impacts reinforce each other. ये दोनों क्या होता है, पॉवर्टी और क्लाइमेट चेंज एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट करे हुए हैं, देयरफॉर वी हैव टू रीइमेजिन आवर फूड सिस्टम्स. बिकॉज पॉवर्टी के कारण दे आर यूजिंग अनसस्टेनेबल थिंग्स, रिसोर्सेज, वेज, and because of unsustainable use of resources, climate is getting impacted. So it's a vicious cycle. It's reinforcing, it's strengthening each other, and hence we have to reimagine everything. Government should allocate more funds to poverty alleviation programs. Not cannot be concluded from what the data is given above, because we don't know that whether the funding can help with sustainability. All the countries of the world unite in fighting poverty, malnutrition, and treat poverty global problem. All the countries, extreme option. We must stop unsustainable practices, control food prices. So many pathogens, again, you have to figure out what exactly is the corollary. That's the conclusion, logical conclusion. Many pathogens that cause foodborne illnesses are unknown. Food contamination can occur at any stage from farm to plate. कभी भी हो सकता है, since most cases of food poisoning go unreported. We don't get to know many cases. The true extent of the illnesses is unknown. इतना तक deep तक जाते हैं पता ही नहीं. Improvements in international monitoring have led to greater public awareness. So improvements in international monitoring have led to better awareness, yet the rapid globalization of food production. Things are changing. Food production may globalization or it increases the vulnerability by making food harder to regulate and trace. इसको track नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. We have the world on our plates, says an official of WHO. ग्लोबलाइजेशन से वेराइटी आ रही है, फूड जो है वो इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है. बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन अ वे वी आर अनेबल टू ट्रैक द एक्सटेंट ऑफ illnesses caused by food, and that's something mentioned here. So with more options for food come more risk. That's what here a WHO officer also said. We have the world, that means we have everything from across the world on our plates, and because the tracking is hard, even in a domestic area, it is harder on global level, and with more options comes more risks. Okay, so food processing is the source of all foodborne illnesses. All is extreme word, ये नहीं होगा. We should depend on locally produced food only. Extreme word है, नहीं होगा. Globalization of food production should be curtailed. This is not what author is saying, that stop the process of globalization with respect to food production. He is not saying that, but he is saying the tracking is hard. He is not in fact suggesting any solution at this point. Pardon me. I thought that is gone. It was not showing that anyone is watching. Now I can see there are people watching. So sorry, guys. So, again, the corollary question. So, in India, the objective of macroeconomic policy is to enhance economic welfare, and any one wing of such policy monetary or physical, cannot independently work without active supports of another. So whatever verticals are there in macroeconomy, they need to work together. Okay. So we can see that the central bank cannot work independently of the government, monetary or fiscal. How whatever we see here, we have to see that things or organizations, they work in tandem. Okay. Government should regulate financial markets and institutions closely. No, author is saying only one won't do. Market economy is not compatible with socialist policies. Compatibility to hai, right? We can see the such objective of such policies to enhance economic welfare, but things need to work, people need to work together. Financial sector reforms are required for enhancing economic welfare of the people. Could be true, but not what we conclude from here. Conclusion is cannot work independently, have to work with the other verticals of the policy. Crux of the passage बहुत easy question होते हैं. This is one line summary of the whole passage, essence of the passage. Okay. Answer is D. Crux has to be from the passage, nothing that we suppose, nothing that we conclude, nothing that we infer. Okay, so it's basically from the passage, and the main message this passage is delivering, वो आपका answer है. So, with steady economic growth, higher literacy, increased skill levels, number of Indian middle class families has gone up exponentially. With all these things, number of middle class families, this number has went up. It has gone up. Sorry. Direct results of the affluence, richness, have been changes in the dietary patterns and energy consumption levels. So, direct results of being rich, these results have been changes in how we eat, what we eat. People have moved to a higher protein based diet. Diet has changed, all of which need significantly more water to produce cereal based diets. तो इससे के कारण ultimately cereal based diets को improve करना पड़ रहा है. Increasing use of electronic etc. motor vehicle needs more and more energy, and generation of energy needs water. तो बेसिकली खाने में जो चेंजेस आए हैं और हमारी मशीनरी रिक्वायरमेंट में जो चेंजेस आए हैं, एवरीथिंग रिलेटेड दैट कम्स डाउन टू वाटर भी ज़्यादा नीड होगा फॉर द होल प्रोसेस. So water management practices in India need to change dramatically in coming years. This is what author has explained. He has given us a reason here. So crux here, एक लाइन में बोलूँ तो not talking about what is happening, why it is happening. एक लाइन में बोलूँ तो water management करना है. So anything that related to water management was your answer. People should be persuaded to continue with mainly Indian traditional. You can't ask people to change their diets. India needs to focus on developing productivity and capacity for more energy generation in coming years. But the author is pointing out that ultimately water के ऊपर stress आ रहा है. So B नहीं है. Modern technological developments result in the change of cultural and social behavior. Irrelevant. You want to Which one of the following statements again best talks about the essence, the crux of the passage? Aristocratic government ruins itself by limiting too narrowly the circle within which power is confined. Oligarchic government ruins itself by incautious scramble for immediate wealth. Okay, so both of the types here they are ruining itself for some or the other reason. But even democracy ruin itself by excess of democracy. So democracy में भी access दे देना मतलब जरूरत से ज़्यादा democracy का हम चाहना is destroying it. So its basic principle is equal right of all to hold office and determine public policy. Basic principle under democracy in democracy is equal right. Okay, this is at first glance a delightful arrangement. It's very nice to look at. It becomes disastrous because people are not properly equipped by education to select best rulers and the wisest courses. So the thing where things go wrong, or the point where things go wrong, it becomes disastrous because the people they are unable to make right choices. The people have no understanding and only repeat what their rulers are pleased to tell them. Okay, so they just blindly follow. I mean, yeah. Such a democracy is a tyranny or autocracy. Plato ने ऐसा कहा है because it is not real democracy. People are simply going with the feelings or influence, and that's how democracy is being practiced. So any form of government tends to deteriorate by excess of its basic principle. Aristocratic government ruins itself by accessing the by going into excess the main theme it follows, that is inner circle में power confined होता है. Oligarchic is doing the same. Democracy, even democracy where people think it is the best type of governance and the government should be a democratic government, even that is hurting itself. That's why we get to see any form of government, may it be aristocratic, democracy, any kind of thing. It is something that it tends to deteriorate by excess more than needed. The basic principle practice हो रहा है without any direction. and I would make this the last one probably. There you go. Now, a study, again, crux, a study conducted on the impacts of climate change over the Kaveri basin of Tamil Nadu. This study, using this model, showed an increasing trend for maximum and minimum temperature and a decrease in the number of rainy days. So, two trends were noticed here. These shifts will have an impact on the hydrological cycles in the region, lead to more runoff and less recharge. पानी बहेगा ज़्यादा, absorb कम होगा, and affect the groundwater tables. Okay, so this kind of shift is ultimately hurting groundwater tables. Further, there has been an increase in the frequency of droughts in the state. सूखा भी पड़ रहा है. This has driven farmers to increase dependency on groundwater resources to secure their crops. Because of this, now farmers are depending more on the uh, groundwater so that they can secure their crops, they can have good harvest. Okay, climate changes increases the criticality होना चाहिए of water resources. Okay, critically नहीं होगा, criticality होगा, while simultaneously threatening it. So you can see that water resources जो है वो critical situation में क्यों आ रहे हैं, because the the ultimate result is more runoff. Okay, recharge कम है. threaten कहाँ हो रहा है कि what we need, that part is not happening a lot, but बह ज़्यादा रहा है हाइड्रोलॉजिकल साइकिल्स में जो चेंज आया है. So this is the crux of it. Heavy dependence, now the passage is about climate change and how it is affecting. It is not about people should depend more on something else, or can be reduced by adopting dry land cropping system, badal do agriculture system, crops ka type badal do, and all. Development of regional climate models helps in choosing smart agriculture practices. Author is not mentioning, suggesting, indicating that type of agriculture practice should be changed or the way they are doing it should be changed. Here the main theme was climate change. So आपका crux भी climate change के बारे में होगा. C and D में है. C says something, but D says that changes cause the farmers to adopt unsustainable livelihoods. इसका indication है नहीं. So though the main topic here is the subject in D, जो बात वो बोल रहा है, what it is saying is absolutely not mentioned here, not indicated in the passage. So answer आपका C था. ठीक है. चलो. So we are gonna meet at 8 o'clock now. Editorial analysis, and I hope you all are there on time, because we start with skimming and then we move ahead with other verticals of our class. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Make sure to like and share. Make sure to subscribe the channel if you haven't till now, so that you get regular updates, because there are even other subjects being covered by our best teachers here, so it's gonna help you a lot. Okay, bye bye, take care.